Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new video. On today's video we're going to be talking about a topic that I know a lot of you guys love or hate, or pretty much you do it because you have to. We're going to be talking about wedding photography, and more specifically we're going to be talking about certain tips when it comes to editing that will save you a lot of time and it will make your workflow a little bit more effective. So let's get into it. So I'll be talking about 5 different tips that we're about to cover. The first one is going to be color coding. The second one is going to be rating. The third one is going to be color correction. The fourth one is going to be color grading. There's a little bit of a difference between these two and we're about to get into that. And of course the fifth one is going to be exporting. So let me show you in the computer what I'm talking about. The first thing we're going to be talking about is going to be color coding. That means that if we're shooting with different types of lighting, or maybe like if we're shooting indoors or outdoors, we're going to create different selections. So as you can see right here, this is indoors, right? So I'm going to select them all. You can just do that by clicking on the first photo, clicking shift, and then picking the last photo, and then go right click and set color label. I'm just going to go ahead and select red. This is our first selection right here, so that is going to be it for indoors. So the second thing is, as you can see, this is a one location, this is a second location, and there is a third location. So again, following the same principle, I know that all of these photos right here are in a second location, so let's give this yellow. Alright, so here's my next location, and for this one I'm just going to select everything, right click, color label. Let's go with green, and for the last ones I'm going with blue. Alright, so now as you can see, everything is color coded. Alright, so now that everything has been color coded, we have to go to our rating. For that we're going to go to library, and here we're going to pick attribute. Once attribute is selected, we're going to go to color. The first one is going to be by default red, so let's go ahead and click on that. And as you can see, all the photos that are labeled with the red color are going to be showed up here. So the second thing we're about to do is we're going to rate these photos, and that is actually quite simple. Using our keyboard, we're going to use from the numbers 1 all the way to 5. The way I personally like to do, I like to use the numbers 1 for okay photos, 3 for the photos I like, and then I'm going to go with 5 down the road. But let's just start with these ones. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a general rating. So every single photo I like, I'm just going to give them 1 star, and then we're going to take it from here. Now I've created a general rating. Now all I have to do is again go up here to attribute, and as you can see there's a rating right here. Go ahead and click on the 1 star, and you're going to have your favorite photos right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is just go over these photos right here, and my favorite ones I'm going to go ahead and give them a 3 star. So same principle, right? Attribute, and then if I pick 3, I'm going to have my favorite photos right here. And the reason why I do 1 and 3 is because most photographers offer like this package where they have like the best photos are going to be edited, and then the rest of the photos are just going to be color graded. So again, just as an example, I took these 4 photos right here to be edited, and the ones with the 1 star are going to be just color graded. Let's go to a different color. So I'm going to grab this one right here. I know for a fact that I want to work on this one, so I'm going to give this one a 5. And that's what I meant a few moments ago. The reason why I rated them just between 1 and 3 is because later down the road, I can rate my favorite photos with 4 and 5 stars. Alright, so now we know which photos we're going to be working on. Now it's time for the fun part, which is going to be color correction and color grading. So for this is actually relatively simple. All you have to do is start with your curves. I know it's also a little bit unorthodox, but trust me, it's a little bit better that way. So all you have to do is create a simple contrast curve, and from there, once you're happy, you're going to go back to your basic correction section, and from there you're going to fix your shadows, you're going to fix your highlights and everything. So I know I'm just trying to look cool right now, but while I'm doing this, you can see right here what I'm doing real quick. Of course, if you want like a more in-depth video about me just color correcting my photos, we can definitely do that. Just make sure you let me know in the comment section down below, and then, you know, we'll take care of it. So once you're happy with it, it's time to start our color grading process. The difference is that the color correction is going to bring that raw file back to life, and the color grading is going to be our own style and flair. So I'm going to start with this point right here. I'm going to add a little bit of that fade look that has been very trendy. And from here, as you can see, you've got this part which is called channel. So if I go ahead and select red, I'm just going to bring this a tiny bit down. As you can see, like my greens are a little bit too strong, but I'm going to fix that in a second. Bring a little bit of green to my shadow, somewhere around there looks also cool. And with my blues, if we take this spot right here and we go up, we're going to add a little bit of blue tint into our shadows and a little bit of yellow to my highlights. See the before and after? Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now it's time to go to our hue and saturation. And I just don't like to go too crazy over here, but you can get very creative. I usually like to bring my aquas, my blues a little bit up, and I'm going to kill the greens a little bit. Now if we go to our split toning, one thing that I like to add is a little bit of orange to our highlights. So orange is going to be around here. So now bring the saturation very low, and I want to bring my shadows to a teal color. So somewhere around 190 looks cool, so let's also turn this back a little bit. And the final step is going to be add a little bit of grain, and somewhere around 15 or 20 should be alright. Alright, so that was our color grading right there. Alright, so we're going back to library, right? In my opinion, this is definitely the most important part about this. This is the part where you're going to save a lot of time editing. So we're going to reset our ratings. So we're going to go back to this part right here, right? Let's start with the red one. We're going to do the following. We're going to click right here, and we're going to create rating is greater than or equal to. When we click on that, as soon as we hit 1 star, as you can see, this is going to bring all the photos that are rated between 1 and 3 stars, which is going to be our final selection that is going to be eventually handed to our customer. Once that we have our pictures ready to go, we're going to edit the first photo. I'm going to use these settings for the rest of our lot. So I'm going to go back to library. Then I'm going to right click on the photo that we just edited. I'm going to go down to develop settings and copy settings. This is going to bring this pop-up box right here. So I'm just going to, everything is selected. I'm just going to leave it as default. Click copy, pick the rest of the photos, right click, develop settings and paste settings. So now everything that we did with this photo, we're going to have with the rest of the photos. And of course, if this doesn't work perfect, do not panic. As you can see, this photo is obviously overexposed. So I'm just going to bring this back to 0, bring those highlights down, and we're good to go. And just like that, we saved ourselves quite a lot of time. And of course, this technique is going to be repeated with all the different color tabs that we have created. Alright, so our color correction and our color grading is done. It's time for exporting. So for that, we're going back to the library. So this is going to bring us again to all our photos. So all we have to do is go ahead and click on 1 star. And this is going to bring us to all the photos that we've selected with 1 star, 3 stars, 5 stars. Our final selection is going to be right here. So for exporting sake, what I like to do is work with different folders. So if I go ahead and click on 5, so I'm just going to grab them and click on export. So this is going to bring the export pop-up box. So from here, I want to bring this to a specific folder. So I'm going to go to folder, choose. On my desktop, I want to create this one, which is going to be called example. And then I'm going to take the put in subfolder, and this is going to be favorite. And if you want to look more professional and take that extra step, change the name. So if I go ahead and click on edit, I can change this. And this is going to change every single photo to this name. So what we have to do right now is just go ahead and click export. And again, the same thing is going to happen with number 3 and number 1. The final result should look something like this. That's our example right there. So we should have something like this. This is going to be our favorite photos. And then the rest of our selection is going to be right here. Alright guys, so there you have it. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, these tips have actually helped me a lot, not just for wedding in particular, but just for any type of photos I'm working on. So yeah, I really hope at least you take 1 or 2 of these tips and can apply them towards your own editing. So yeah, I really hope you liked this video and you found it useful, and if you did, by all means make sure you go bananas on that like button, subscribe if you haven't already because that would help this channel quite a bit, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!